Hey, Sorrow Eternal. We're Blizzard at Sea. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'm Steve. I play the guitar and also do some vocals.
I'm Jesse. I'm on bass and vocals as well.
My name is John. I play the drums and a couple of vocals too. Jesse's got a cold today. He's nostrils are full of toilet paper. All right, Christine, here come your questions. We're going to answer them for you. Thanks for asking us to do this interview, by the way. We're very flattered by your review. You guys want to say thank you?
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you very much.
You guys are the best. In the span of a year, you assembled your lineup, put out a demo, then released Invariants. How did you manage to cram all the writing, rehearsing, and live gigs into such a short span? I mean, as far as writing goes, Steve, didn't that kind of actually go back about 10 years or so?
Yeah, there's
How long have you been writing these riffs?
there's riffs in these songs from my sophomore year of high school. So this is pretty much like the culmination of everything I've ever tried to do on the guitar, I guess.
Yeah. Do you have stuff that you've written that just wouldn't fit into the band sound, though?
Yeah, I used to be into a lot of other lighter genres, so there's a lot of shit that I have that wouldn't really fit with us, but this is
We got some light shit.
that's true.
Well, how did we assemble our lineup, put out a demo? It was hard to assemble a lineup. We're so glad that we found Jesse.
It was super easy once Jesse came along.
Yeah. Steve and I knew each other for a little while. We had the same job, and we went through a couple of other members that did not fit the band that well. We appreciate their work very much, but Jesse's so essential to the actual development of this band. And rehearsing and live gigs, we just had to make time for it. It's the hardest for me because I'm a big dork and I have a bunch of homework all the time and stuff. So Steve is always pestering me to make time for band shit, which is definitely good. I always say to people, if I were in a band with two other me's, we wouldn't be anywhere at all. We would have no music written, never practice, never play any shows.
Yeah, I mean, that's all it is. There isn't some secret, It's just the amount of time and effort you're willing to put in is directly proportional to what you're going to get out of it. So.
And Steve puts a shit ton of effort into getting us to do things. And that demo that we recorded, we literally just stayed up all night. We
spent 16 hours in that little room.
Yeah, we went to the arts building at the University of Iowa, and I think we got there at 7 p.m., just recorded, and then mixed, and we left there at 11 a.m., and we didn't even leave that building. We didn't eat any food or anything. All right, you guys have decided to buck the trends and just make a solid, gritty metal album. How hard is it, really, to say no to the current fads and stay true to the music itself?
I think it's really easy because I really don't like current trends, I don't think.
What are the current trends?
I just don't like fads. I just think they're generally short-term, so short-lived, and always changing. It's hard to stay on top of a fad type of writing for fads would be hard, I think.
And that's why Jesse wears his hair in a mullet.
That's why I have a mullet. Damn it. Yes.
It's not hard. The music sounds good. We've never really accidentally written any crappy music that we had to decide is too trendy for us or anything. It's just we listen to music we like and let it influence us. But what's the draw of any of the trendy stuff out there right now? Here comes the next question. There's some pretty deep themes running through the tracks. Can you give us a little insight into the concept of the album? I think that's all Steve right there.
Gee. I mean,
Deep space.
Yeah, it's about one guy and this huge thing that happens to him. He gets pulled out into space and he kind of merges his consciousness with the universe to create life on a new planet, and he does a lot of shit there, and then he eventually ends up leaving his physical body because his biological self has lived so long. But I don't know. The album is really just about change, I guess, and the question of is anything at all not subject to change through time's passage.
Steve, if something were not subject to change, would you say that it would be invariant?
Yes.
Steve one time sat me down on his couch in his apartment and explained the concept of the album to me, and it took about half an hour. So he's giving you the short version here. There's also a written short story of it, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of versions of the story that I'm trying to finish up and make to put out there alongside this, but they're all still in development right now.
What's the guy's name again?
Whistler?
Yeah, the main character's name is Whistler.
I thought it'd be a neat idea to try to print that story on the inside of the CD packaging, but that didn't end up happening. If you had to describe invariance in one sentence, what would it be, Jesse?
One sentence. Holy
Yeah,
crap.
dude.
I would say that it is a half-hour pleasure-filled eargasm
The bassist
that
would
will
say
not
that.
leave you. That will not leave you wanting for anything else in the whole world ever again.
That's one sentence. Steve, how about you?
Period.
Oh man.
And it's really fun to play. Comma, and it's really fun. It's
Yeah.
really fun to play
That's semicolon.
and enjoy. Yes.
Yeah, let's make these fucking long sentences.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know, deep space, existential voyage, for one guy, all wrapped up in a bunch of super heavy sounds. I don't know.
I should have been thinking about my sentence.
It's tough.
It's hard to describe.
No, you guys stole my sentences. I think of it as the music that I've been playing that's been like keeping the creative part of my life alive for the last year. Because like it's so familiar now that I don't know. It's a weird expression of that side of me that we just play over and over. And I agree with Jesse. It's fun. Here's the next question. Your style seems to be a mix of sludge, post-metal, and obvious progressive elements. What bands or artists influenced the overall sound of the band? And what inspired each of you to play music in the first place?
Well, I mean, I would say there's definite, sounds of Mastodon, ISIS, Baroness. I mean, the stuff people have been telling us, I guess, is the stuff that it really does kind of resemble.
Yeah, I'd say like when you guys say that the one band that we're most really into is Baroness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like we take influence from them in many more ways than just musical style or songwriting. They're a great band. I think their
philosophies too, the way
Yeah.
they look at themselves and their music and what they're doing, I really agree with too.
Exactly. And yeah, I've been a big fan of ISIS for a long time. We hear that we're similar to ISIS, but I mean, I didn't write any guitar riffs.
I actually had never listened to any ISIS before people started telling us that we were like that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, they're definitely.
I like them now that I've listened to them.
I bet if like I came in with like quicker, more up tempo or more notes in the drum beats, it wouldn't be as much like ISIS.
Plus, I feel like a lot of bands have an extra dimension to work with, a second guitarist or a synth of some sort to add sound, and we kind of don't have any of that. We achieve the sound without having that
Yeah.
fourth person or extra band member to to make it
It'd be a
come
lot
across
harder
the
to
way.
be in a band with another person.
It was hard back when we had a second guitarist. That was
Yeah.
a lot of work. And what inspired each of you to play music in the first place?
I just always liked playing music growing up, either singing or playing instruments of various sorts.
I was
And now
born
bass.
playing.
Bass is sweet.
Steve's dad recently told me that he got him to play guitar because he said that chicks dig it. Probably.
Of course.
How old were you, Steve?
I started playing like 15. And back then it was like all punk stuff, like Offspring, that I was really into and wanted to play.
Yeah. I started playing the drums around like age 12 or 13, and I was a big Primus fan, and the drummer Tim Alexander of Primus is still probably one of my biggest influences, even though I don't really listen to them all that much anymore.
I don't know. I like there's a lot of good stuff out right now that's, I think, inspirational anyways, as far as music to play. So much good stuff out to follow.
Next question. We all know that metal musicians have a wide variety of musical interests. What bands, singers, rappers, crooners, and artists have you guys been listening to lately?
I've been listening to, let's see, certainly Intronaut, Animals as Leaders. I'm still listening to plenty of Baroness, and there's a cat somewhere.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of different types of music too. I don't know, like definitely Skeleton Witch and The Contortionist. Just anything with progressive elements. I usually like Rush. I listen to a lot of Rush, and always love Rush.
How about you, Steve?
Yeah, I suppose lately I've been listening to, a lot of Mastodon and Baroness, obviously, but I've also been super into bands like Crystal Castles and Adventure recently, and of course, for years I've been obsessed with Andrew WK. His music and the way he, his philosophy on things too. And I'd say, he's probably a huge influence on my music and the way I view it.
I think that's why we're such an active band, is because Steve just never stops because of Andrew WK.
Party in every way.
Exactly.
There's a million bands though that I can't even begin to name the bands that I listen to.
Cloud Kicker lately.
Cloud Kicker.
Yeah, we all love Cloud Kicker.
Yeah, Pelican, Buckethead, The Knife. Coldplay, a lot of Coldplay really shows through in our music.
Creed.
Sorry.
I haven't even given my serious answers yet. I like Genghis Khan a whole lot. Those guys are an amazing little band. Outside of the metal genre, I really enjoy Lily Allen. That's not a joke answer. I like her. I'm trying to think. Stuff that Trevor Dunn does. Trevor Dunn was the bassist from Mr. Bungle, and he's in a bunch of new stuff like jazz. He has a rock band called Mad Love. Similarly, a guy named R. Loren, who has just a bunch of weird bands called like The Body and Pyramids. Pyramids is like a kind of ambient electronic stuff. They're all really good. I think that's about it, right? Okay. So next question. For casual fans of the genre, Iowa is the home of Slipknot. So what is the metal scene actually like in Iowa these days? Steve books a lot of our shows, and he's probably in the most contact with other Iowa metal bands. What do you think, Steve?
You see, it's frustrating because I've talked to a lot of people that go to the shows, and they say they wish there were more bands to go see. But then I'll talk to the bands that we play with, and they all talk about how no one is going to the shows.
Yep.
So it's struggling right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of good bands, of course, but the scene itself is definitely hit and miss. I don't know. You can obviously you always have to have the right timing for your shows, and you want the middle spots on the Thursday through Sunday nights or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. the scenes. There's people out there, but it's definitely not stadiums full of people to go see Slipknot coming to see us as well.
Yeah. We've met some really great Iowa metal bands, like Sorvara. Those guys are awesome. Anyone else, you guys?
I don't know.
Can
Snow
think of-
Demon would call themselves metal, maybe more punk rock or whatever.
Yeah,
but
they're metal.
They're
Good
cool.
guys.
They're awesome. The Horde.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the bands are there and the fans are there. There's just like something missing to make it all come together. I don't know what's lacking right now, but it is.
So we're gonna attempt to play 1 million shows, and hopefully,
Yeah.
a good percentage of them have people.
Next question. If you could assemble your own tour with no thought about money or travel, what bands would you want to share a stage with, and where would the tour go?
That tour would go to every state
What about Europe?
Every corner of the
and
world
to
would be
every
sweet.
country.
Seriously, I would do continental, 5 continents if we wanted, but definitely Europe, Canada would be sweet. I don't know if there's any demand to the south, but I would go to Mexico or Central American or anywhere like that. But anywhere really. I'm down to go anywhere for a tour.
Yeah, one of the biggest draws for being in a band is such a great opportunity to travel and go places.
Yeah.
I would want to go wherever we could.
Yeah. And who would we share a stage with?
I would
man.
love to open for Baroness.
Yeah, no
That'd be
kidding.
really cool. Yeah.
I don't know. I would also be fine with sharing the stage with some of the bands that we have been sharing the stage with. Like we said, Sorvara, and just all these other bands around the state and around Wisconsin and stuff that we've played with. There's a lot of great bands out there that no one knows about.
Yeah.
The band Get Some, GIT Some.
Get some.
Those guys blew us away.
Oh yeah, they were awesome.
They'd be great to play with anytime. Who's in our dreams?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know.
In my
Pretty much always
dreams.
feel pretty psyched to be playing with whoever, but
In my ultimate dream, we would play also with Cloud Kicker, but that's like a double dream. 'cause
Oh,
he
that'd
doesn't
be
even play
amazing.
live.
Yeah.
but we'd want to be his band for him,
That would be-
with him.
Yeah, check out
'Cause
Cloud
He's
Kicker.
only one person, I think, and he says he'll do live shows, but that would be the ultimate
Cloud
tour
Kicker
as Cloud Kicker in Blizzard
is
City
yeah.
around the world.
I feel like there was some expectation for us to say Mastodon. Steve and I met the guys from Mastodon before their show about a year ago, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't want to meet us. They were in a bad mood that day.
They had a lot of people to meet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but that would be cool. Definitely would tour or would play.
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
Mastodon. Are you kidding?
All right, next question. The plague of piracy will never die. What are your thoughts on the downloading of music? And more recently, how do you feel about Spotify and its attempts to, quote, share the wealth, end quote, between bands, artists, and fans? None of us know what Spotify is, right?
No.
I'm guessing that basically they're trying to just take the balance and keep it in the middle, more away from either recording companies profiting or artists
Yeah.
only, fans getting screwed, or basically screwing out artists out of money by downloading or getting charged too much.
Is that a pay what you want? It could be. I mean, it sounds like it to me.
I don't know.
I
Well, I
don't-
mean, we're offering our
Yeah.
digital files as pay as you want anyway, which 100% of people so far have paid nothing, which is fine because I don't know. I think the huge difference between music and other things that people consume is that, like, you'll go to a movie or you'll read a book to see if you like it, and you pay to do that, but people don't pay for music to see if they like it. You have to you have to be familiar with it to want to own it, I think.
Yeah. It would be really nice to be able to pay off all the money that we spent recording and printing that album, and maybe giving our album out for free is helping us toward that. Originally, we were charging money for it,
Yeah.
and I think you can. I mean, we wouldn't give away copies of the album like it shows for free,
No,
but
that's the idea. I mean,
yeah,
I don't think you can
it's a
do
changing
much but
industry,
deal
man.
with piracy or
Yeah.
incorporate it into your your strategy as a band if you're not gonna be Metallica and have every time somebody whispers your name you have to pay them.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not gonna. It just seems like a lot of work. Plus, I'm not gonna lie. I've sampled people's music without paying for it. First,
I have too.
And
In fact, I've been sued by the government because I've downloaded
Are you
music
serious?
illegally. Yeah.
How much did you get fined?
I got fined $4,000.
ouch.
That's fucked up.
When was that?
Like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I downloaded maybe, I don't know, a couple albums, and that's what the government deemed I had to pay.
Yeah.
I don't know. 20 years ago, I can totally see bands in our situation just completely clueless on how to get people to even know about them. And now I checked, and our invariance is on like 20 torrents and download sites. People all over the world have already downloaded that and taken notice.
I was gonna say like nobody would ever pirate our CD, but I guess that's kind of.
Well, I mean, it just gets data online. Once it's there, it's there. But
Yeah.
and I like the freedom of information and all that. But as long as people aren't using it to screw us, and we're not using it to screw people, I'm fine with it. And obviously we can't have very much control over things. So
Download
I'm
away.
I'm pretty happy to have the sound out to anybody, including pirates.
Yeah, I've never illegally downloaded music, but honestly, that's because I can't figure out how to do it.
It's pretty
mean,
easy.
no,
I mean, once you do it, it's too easy to do. You can
Yeah.
always just be like, well, I guess I don't need to pay this artist for their work.
I'm too anal about like having the track order right and like all the
For the record, John is anal.
Thanks, Jesse. Next
question.
Next question. What can we expect to see from Blizzard at Sea in the coming months? Are there any more album or touring plans in the works? More importantly, can we expect to see some New York shows? New York will happen if you pay for us to get there.
We want to get
We'd
there.
love
That'd
to
be
go
awesome.
there. If we can build the empire enough to stretch to New York, we would definitely do that.
How long of a drive would that be?
I
It's
think
like 16 hours.
at least, yeah.
Actually, yeah, it'd be better to do like an East Coast tour than the other part of the, toward the west, not Midwest, but Western Midwest.
Yeah.
Hit Denver.
West by Midwest tour.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't think we have album plans. We're writing new songs, but and
I think that's got obviously the next step is to write
We're-
another album, but
once we have enough
focusing
songs,
on visibility and
Yeah.
on writing and letting it continue to evolve
yeah.
organically, so to speak.
Yeah.
And we have a one-show tour planned. We're gonna play in Dubuque, Iowa. That's kind of a tour for us in October. But yeah.
24-hour tour.
Unfortunately, it's all about time and money, and we're trying to do the best that we can with what we've got, and we accept any sort of assistance that Sorrow Eternal feels like giving to us.
Okay, come and eat out at my restaurant and tip me well.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
something.
And I mean, honestly, like a big goal for us would probably be like playing Chicago. That's just a couple of hours away, but we've never done that.
Chicago, Minneapolis, Kansas City, St. Louis, all the regional big cities would be fantastic. Plus, all of our smaller town shows around Iowa and this area have been really enjoyable. Anyways, it's like it'd be nice to have a city and to see as well. But Fort Dodge was really fun.
Yeah, we're gonna do our best. We just lost our practice space. This a really cool like artist collective place in Iowa City called the White Lightning Warehouse. Just got what's the official?
Shut down by the man. That is the official what happened.
Okay. Yeah.
It was it was shut down after it reached its peak of underground awesomeness.
Yeah, after it failed to meet
Failed to
every
meet
fire code.
possible building and fire code known to man. In fact, I think they had to expand the book just to make sure that they covered things that were happening there. But
So that's one of our first priorities is having a new place to practice.
yeah.
All right, they say, thanks again for taking some time to answer questions for us. We're looking forward to seeing what you guys put out next. Good luck and keep shaking the earth with that bass.
Nice.
So they can.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Jesse shakes as many things as he can with that bass.
With that bass.
Thank you so much,
Thank you, Sorrow Eternal.
Yeah.
Christine.
Thank you, Christine, and
Nice talking
everybody
to you.
involved.
Again, I'm John. I'm on the drum set.
I'm Steve on guitar.
I'm Jesse, and I have Kleenex stuffed into my nose.
Now, should we all say, we're a buzzard at say at the same? All right.
2 pots,
Good night.
hydrogen, 1 pot, oxygen.